Our next guest has been in the entertainment industry as an actor, author, musician, award-winning writer, director for 30 years. Does he have a wingsuit too?
Yeah, but he has spent the last 10 years working on this project. Chris Jaymes is here to talk about the graphic novel Sons of Chaos. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Son, you don't have a wingsuit yet, right?
Well, now you're making me feel inadequate.
Sorry. I apologize for that.
Yeah, there was this nice build-up, and then you took
And then
it.
boom, it's like he doesn't have a wingsuit.
So
This
I'm
book
here.
is epic.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, look, you can see the cover art is
How
incredible.
beautiful.
Look at this thing.
Beautiful.
But you open it up, and surprise, surprise, it's not what you expect. Oh, and I'm opening up.
The title.
That's the title page.
Yeah.
But you
Pick
look
a page, any page. There you
check
go.
that out.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Artwork.
This is artwork, and it tells a story. And what is the story?
I don't remember.
It was only 10 years you
There's a
worked
lot
on
of work
it.
here.
Yeah. No, after a while, you do start forgetting because it went on for so long. But it's a story everybody's been dying to hear, which is about a revolution that happened in Greece in 1821.
Dying to hear about it.
Yeah, you've been
Can't
waiting.
Wait.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
me too.
No. But why is this particular? I mean, I'm joking, of course, but why is this story particularly interesting to you? Why do you think it has legs today?
Well, in the same way Les Miserables has legs.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same. But this happened 40 years after the French Revolution, but no one knows about this, so it got totally overlooked. But yet this had more implications on the world of today. It defined Europe to be what it is today, and it stimulated the fall of the Ottoman Empire. And we're still in this, at least on a surface level talk, this East versus West kind of stuff that justifies all of our economics and all of our political moves, and it's kind of hidden under this. This sort of facade of like, oh, East-West power. And so this really plays much more directly into that than
and how we got here.
How we got here,
And you fictionalize some of the players in the game. You really make it a story. So it's really, I mean, digesting this thing is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, the pages that I saw are terrific.
Yeah. Well, it just threw it together effortlessly.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, at what point did you decide in your head, I want to do a book like this? It's not something that, you would just
not
ordinarily.
My childhood dream.
I mean, you do movies and you do music, but this is really a labor of love.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Like if you had told me in the beginning, hey, why don't we make this book that'll take you 10 years, I would have not signed up probably. But I'm happy I did because I'm proud of it. I think it started off in my head. Always when I'm starting up writing, I'm thinking of a movie or a TV series, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing in the scope of the reality as I started to understand all the history. And, there's so much that goes on that it just became this sprawling thing. And so then it made sense to make a book out of it because this could live in various forms and this would be more of a launching pad for the further stories.
So speaking of further stories, like I'm a Game of Thrones fan, we were just talking about this, and when I look at the imagery that you're using and really the graphic nature of a lot of it is very Game of Thrones. It reminds me of that. Is that, I mean, did you intend for it to be that way?
No, 10 years ago,
I
was not. Yeah,
well,
and
there was the book.
I honestly didn't even watch a Game of Thrones until a few years ago. So we were far along on this. It was not meant to be like Game of Thrones. You can't avoid comparing it to it now, though, because it is very raw. And though it looks like a comic book, it's definitely not something I would give to my child.
Correct. Not suitable for kids. No, it's not.
It's very raw, and it really exposes the reality of what we do to one another. Just 200 years ago, the graphic nature is true.
And I think what's also interesting in there is how you talk about the manipulation behind war, which I think is a really interesting dynamic that we're almost seeing today as well. And why people, and how to convince people to be involved in a war, and why.
I think that's the thing I watch in our world today that harms me the most, that I get the most livid about, is watching people just sort of accept what's fed to them as a slogan, and they'll use that slogan, make a quick choice that these people are bad, they'll polarize one another so effortlessly, and then justify sort of our military to go and legally murder. for a cause that they really don't understand.
And that's what happened here.
That's the underlying theme of this book is to expose the agenda of the leaders and how it's us that pays the price for that.
We're so quick to blame electronics and social media for that. They didn't have it back then.
And they still were doing it.
You know, but it was like they playing telephone, you know. They're bad, they're bad, they're really bad, they're really bad, they're going to come to kill you. So it kind of goes that way, right?
Exactly
as it goes across,
It's exactly that. And it's a good point, because then we didn't have anything to sort of back up the credibility. So if you heard something, that was real. Then in our childhood, if you read something, it was real. Now the game has changed. It comes at you from so many places, and you can't trust anything.
You can't trust
Very interesting.
You can trust us.
Yes.
Well, of course that. I could tell that by your ankles.
He's really doing it.
I'm showing off my ankles today.
I feel like I missed out. I didn't join the Expose Your Ankle Club.
Well, but if you want exposure, check out this book.
A lot of exposure in there. All right, Chris, thank you for coming. The book,
Great to have you here.
The book is available everywhere, correct? It's available now.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, it's everywhere.
All right, so we talked about this time. Next time we'll talk about your films, and then you come back and talk about your music.
And then you could talk about this turning into the
a movie.
next movie.
We got lots to talk about.
Yes.
Great to have you here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.